Hi everybody, happy Tuesday. I'm Caroline from Red Dust Creations. I make things, I craft things, I sew things, I paint things, I grow things. So overall, I am an artist, but I also have fibromyalgia, trigeminal neuralgia, have had Ross River fever, kidney stones, IBS, and rheumatoid arthritis. So I'm a balance of all of those things while still working 4 days a week because I need to pay for me and all of the medications that keep me vaguely functional, but I also need to pay for my hobby hoard. We did start to look at the hobby hoard last week, and I'm sorry that I left you hanging with a just being cut off. I apologise for that, but I had forgotten to charge the camera, and obviously the battery ran out. So this is episode 2 or part 2. I don't know how we're going to call this, but yeah, this is me tackling the hoard. Now, we're tackling the hoard. Initially, our focus is the desk area, but before we can move some of this stuff off the desk, I had to pre-clean the cube corner, the brain fog, cube unit in the corner. So I had to clear the top of that off and kind of vaguely sort that out, and also shuffle some things around. While I go through this process, I know that there will be a lot of shuffling things around, that things won't automatically find their homes straight away. Nancy, darling, you're okay. And that there'll be many stages to it before I get it how I want. But I'm hoping that if I can clear the desk space, I've got a working space where I'd really love to do some felt sewing in the next couple of weeks before our next lot of country races. I'd like to be able to do some little felt flowers and maybe create some little felt flower crowns for some of our little girls. It's our family, our next race is the Diggers Day races, and it is a family races day. So we've already had our first race event for the season, which is our field days races. I had a stall at our field days races with my friend Beck. She was doing popcorn and fairy floss and some 3D printed stuff, and I had show bags, some glow-in-the-dark stuff for nighttime, and some small 3D printed things. My aim, and for really, I suppose both of our aims, was to try and have something that was affordable. So none of the show bags were over $15 each, and like on my stand I had little fidgets similar to this guy here, so just little articulated fidgets. They were 50 cents each, just so that everyone had the chance to go shopping and find something on the day. And the kids loved it, the parents loved it. It was really successful, and we've been asked to go back and have another stall at the next lot of races. So the show bags, the fairy floss, the popcorn, and hopefully some of the simpler 3D printed stuff. Between the two of us, we sort of have different styles of 3D printing, what we choose to make and things, but I'd also like to see if I could try and get some of my handmade stuff there. And I figured that the flower crowns, because it's only got kids fashions on the field, might be a way to get that started. But to do that, I'd love to be able to take you with me on that journey of sewing again and seeing how my hands and their rheumatoid arthritis-ness hold up. But I need a surface to work at so that I can film what I'm doing and share it with you. I'm not sure how many days in a row this is that I've managed to film and share something, but I have. Some days it's just been a short. Sometimes it's been a short of things. Like the other day, I did a market buy, like an unplanned market. Cordero, would you like to go outside? Go outside, buddy. An unplanned market at the rodeo. No, he does not want to go outside. And sold some jewellery and things like that. It was enough to cover the cost of what I'd bought in to sell. Again, at this stall there was nothing over $5. I sold some more of the glow stuff that I had left over from field days, which was really cool as well. And again, like, kids and parents were just like, oh, this is a great idea. So that's kind of the goal of it, like, you know, to cover costs and I suppose the time and the impact on my body as well is part of it. I'm not trying to make a fortune out of it. It's been, you know, nice to make a little bit and cover all the bits and pieces, but that's not the goal. The goal is to make sure that our country kids don't miss out on things when they go to these events, and that they get the experiences that bigger city kids do at their shows and all those kind of other things. Or just when they go to the shops, because we don't really have many shops out here in the middle of northwest Queensland. So anyway, so I have done this corner, and the reason that I had to get this corner unit sorted, this cube unit, corduroy, you're fine, Trixie's not going to eat you. You would like to say hello. This is corduroy. Corduroy is my ridiculous tiny little dog who has been outside and is traumatized by that fact that he's been outside for a very brief period of time and now has to be held like a baby. His little hug. Problem is also that he's got a cat at the door to the lounge room, and then there's a cat sitting by the back door, so he feels like he's kind of trapped. He is not, however, so he will be fine. He just needs to be brave. Yes, so there's two cats in here. You may see them later. I don't know. But the reason, yes, so back to this. Sorry, I really apologise for all the tangents and things like that. It's just part of me. And as I said, there's part of this Red Dust Creations. It is me. You'll get all parts of me. And sometimes, yeah, as I said, it's, you know, craft. Sometimes it's chronic stuff. Sometimes it's autoimmune stuff. Sometimes it's market stalls. Sometimes it's dogs. Sometimes it's cats. Sometimes it's plants. But all of those things are part of who I am and what make me who I am. And I hope that there's some people out there who can connect with that. Someone who's just trying to keep it all going, keep it all together, despite all the things that could really just make me go, you know what, I'm done. But I don't want you done. There's too much life to be lived, so let's keep going. But the plan is, right, so I have cleared that. So now I'm going to start moving some of these boxes of filament over into that space. And so then the idea is that there are filament that's in the storage containers from Kmart. Thanks, Kmart. Always, hang on, this might be easier. Ooh, this way. They'll all be in one space so that they're visible. I am one of those people that doesn't have like object permanence. Like if you put it in a cupboard, it's like it never existed. And I think that's how I've ended up with, turns out, 76 shades, colours of filament. So we're trying to work around that. So each one of these tubs holds 5 reels. Some of them don't have 5 reels in them, reels of filament, because they've been used, but I've got a couple of loose ones and things like that, so I'll try and fill them up, top them up as I go. So that's our first goal. Is we're almost 10 minutes in and I've just talked at you the whole time. But again, I hope you're here for the unhinged chaos that is me. Anyway, so yeah, I'm just going to shift them along. Another reason that these are in smaller containers, so they're in containers that I can lift, okay? I can only just lift them, so it's what, it's less than 5 kilos in here, but my functional strength, after seeing I see an exercise physiologist pretty regularly, and my functional strength is way below what it should be for someone of my age. Well below. So I have to do things on a smaller scale to ensure that I don't overdo them down the track. Sorry, I don't know if I'm going in and out. I'll try not to, because I think that I can do a lot more. I hope that I could do a lot more, than I actually can. So I just have to try and set myself up for success in that respect. So go, okay, yeah, maybe today I can do it, but tomorrow I might want to get something out and it's underneath something and I can't lift 5 kilos. And at the moment, my niece who lives with me, Ants, she's not here at the moment. She's gone to the Towers, to Charters, to do a... she's not here for the next 3 days, so I have to make sure that I can do all of this myself. As much as it's fabulous to have someone else in the house that will help with all these things, I am not great and not being independent still. You'd think I would have learnt by now, but I haven't. So yeah, so that's one container moved. And this is 2 containers moved. And that means that we now actually have, hang on a second, hang on, more visible desk space. Look at that! It's a desk, we can see it. I mean, underneath the desk is a whole other story, but on top of the desk, that's not the right sound effect. Maybe I'll see if I can find a sound effect. That will be the only thing that I'll try. And remember, I'm trying not to edit, putting in thumbnails and stuff for people who may not have seen my things, but the rest of it is just, it is what it is. Okay, you get me in my unedited glory, I guess. So yeah, feel free to, if you need to, like fast forward through some bits or not. Be like, you know what? Let's give it a listen. Let's see what crazy she's going to come up with now. Okay, so these 2 are full. Just gonna check these ones here. That one's got 5 spools in it. This one's only got 4. So I'm going to put this glow in the dark one in there. So I'm just going to make sure it's rolled up a little bit tighter and just pop it through one of the holes on the side, just to keep it from unrolling itself while in storage. Some people make sure they put like desiccant and all that kind of stuff in with their spools. I was doing that and having got vacuum sealing them and all the rest of it, but it turns out that like having to open the packets and things like that continuously, rheumatoid arthritis says no. So that's something that I've had to adjust and go, right, well, we'll put them, I've got 5 in there, we'll put them into containers that will keep them fairly protected from obviously the elements. And the issue is just having moisture be absorbed by the filament so that it just doesn't print as well. So technically I can, so there's a bit of overhang here, as you can see with that one. However, I don't think it's enough that it's going to tip over, and that just means I won't need to stack them as high, hopefully, which then means that they are more accessible to me. There's a box down here. It has 5 rolls of filament in it already. So this is about as high as I can reach. Oh, I also have bursitis in both my shoulders. Apparently, it's very impressive, my burses. And they would rival like any career tennis player, old lady, by now. It's just part of short tacks, having to reach for things and all the rest of it. So, which again means that I don't have a full range of movement. So, we're doing okay today. There. And that's where everything starts to lock up, and I can't, like if I try and keep moving, you'll just see that my shoulders are just going up, not my actual arms. So again, something that I forget that I have, and then I'm like, why can't I do that? And I'm like, oh, bursitis, that's the thing. So then we have another one on this. So this last box down on the ground here, it's only got 4 rolls of filament in it. So I think I've called them reels, rolls and spools so far, but I'll be able to add this one into there to make it 5. So that there's well, less loose ones anyway. Alright, so that's 2 high, 2 high, 1 high. Now I do have 2 more tubs of filament over there, and I'm just going to duck out of frame for a second while I grab those and put them up here as well, because that'll make it easier to maneuver around the rest of the hoard. Love being a dragon, like dragons have hoards, they're cool. yeah, it'll allow me to move maneuver a little bit easier in this room, especially if I'm getting ants to help me move things around. Alright, so I'm just going to grab these 2 boxes of filaments. That's right. One of them can actually stay there. One of them's so all of these filaments, the 76 ones, and if you watched my calibration cat video, you'll see that I finally got the stand together. That was an hour of, I can't believe that video was almost an hour. I mean, I can, but yeah. But all the cats are attached, on display, ready for people to be able to choose for custom things. Why are you licking my leg, Corduroy? It's weird. Don't do it. But there is another tub down there, but it has, so all of these filaments, sorry, are PLA, which is the main type of filament that you use when you first start with 3D printing and stuff. I did order some PETG, or PETG, I don't know how you say it properly, but I haven't even touched that yet. So that's another 4 colours. They are not calibration cats, and I'm not worrying about them at this point in time because I haven't even played with that filament. So that box can actually stay down there because it doesn't need to be part of this chaos. Okay, so here I have an A4 and an A3 art folio that I would like to, when I unearth all my different bits and pieces of the watercolour painting and some of the sketching courses and stuff that I've had to go at, I'd like to store them in here to keep them safer. So for now though, I have this little narrow space here in between the cube and the edge of the desk because the legs are slanted. So I'm just going to pop it in here for now. Okay, I've got a bin just under here. That was just a baby wipe that I used to clean. Baby wipes are magic. Like seriously, magic. This photo frame, I do have a pile of them, but I don't want to put it up too high. So this is going to be one of those moments where I'm going to temporarily put it somewhere because I just need to rehome it for now until I can figure out where it's going to live. And really, I should put something in there. Either art that I've made or bought or souvenirs from my travels overseas. But I have all these empty frames. I think it's time to start filling them. Because empty frames are kind of sad. So I'm just going to put that on there's a bookshelf just over here to the right of the 3D printer. So I'm just going to pop it on that shelf for now. So then I've got notepad, supposed to live here, and desk mat supposed to live here, which is great. This box, as I said, was polymer clay and supplies and fixings and clay itself and a roller and a bunch of other things that I got from Blushery when she had to pivot with her business. So I don't currently have a home for all my polymer clay stuff. I actually think some more of it might be underneath this desk. So for now, I'm just going to rehome it on that same bookshelf on a different shelf, so that it's no longer on the desk. And we still have, look, we've created usable space. Corduroy, please get down. Whoops. So I'm just going to put those desk mat and a notepad there. Here I have, I think the camera cut out on us when I was going through the things that are on my desk. So here was one of the macrame kits that I got because it was quite cheap at Spotlight, and I thought it was a great way to get all the extra bits and pieces, but also some of the cute little colours and things like that when it comes to macrame, because as you can probably figure out, and I think I said this before, with all the filament colours, I love having a rainbow of colours and things available to me. Like this one, this is another one, this is another, so this one was a macrame sun catchers, the first one. This is macrame accessories, but again, it has all the bits and bobs to make these things here. So all the fixings and all the rest of it, the beads and the lobster clasps and all the rest. And then all these different gorgeous colours of, little sample colours. I mean, it's not necessarily going to be the most amazing ethically sourced cord. Sorry, dog jumped on me, have stuff now on me. But that doesn't mean it's not going to be fun to play with. And if I don't get around to playing with it, then maybe one of my market stalls, I'll sell it. And someone else can get the joy from it. But for now, that's okay. So, I'm going to, oh, there's one. So that's the 2 macrame ones I've got. I've got a wooden monstera leaf, which is I think a placemat. Yeah, it is. And this one's a coaster to paint and decorate. So they can stick with that. And there is a kit, a resin kit, to make some holographic resin coasters. I've done a couple of workshops using resin, which I thought were pretty cool. Thankfully, I haven't completely fallen down that rabbit hole yet, because, I mean, I came close, but I didn't do it. I mean, that's not to say that it won't happen still, but for now, that's okay. Again, these I got for considerably cheaper than they would normally be sold at Spotlight, and at a price that I thought was reasonable to get access to some of the basics so that I could try things out, see what they were like. So, right, now there is a section down on my beautiful old school storage shelves down there for kits. I'm not sure there's enough space for these guys, but I'm just going to go and check because that's where they can go with the other kits. Excuse me, corduroy. Excuse me. Thank you, sir. Not quite where the others will go, but there is a spare shelf at the moment. So, as I said, I know that it's going to bug me later that there's going to be things all over the place, but for now, in order to be successful with one space, I need to just shuffle things. Okay? Right, so now I can see some of the stuff that's underneath the desk. There is a Paddington book, a golden book from Paddington, and another gorgeous one that was I'm a Ballerina. Now, I have done a little bit of junk journaling, turning illustrations. Now, these are from the op shop, so these are secondhand, and I've done a few times where I've done things using the illustrations from some of the older books and stuff like that to create things, to create bunting, junk journaling and things like that. So that's why I bought these guys. I think they're like maybe 50 cents if that from our local op shop. Again, shop local where you can. It's one of our only shops, and look, to be honest, our op shop is amazing. But so they're going to go on the shelf over here because they don't need to go on the bookshelf in the living room because they are not books to be read. They're books to be reloved as something else. Now, right. I'm not great at getting rid of books. I love books. But when I moved from Victoria to Queensland, I got rid of a lot of books. Donated them all. They were free at I just put them at my local post office, and all my DVDs, and people came and grabbed them, which was great. But there were some that I couldn't get rid of. I love ancient stuff. And this book is, a whopper. It's all about ancient Rome, and there's beautiful photographs and all kinds of stuff. And I haven't quite decided if I can get rid of it yet. If I keep it, it will probably be for crafty type purposes, to reuse some of the illustrations perhaps in artwork, mixed media stuff, or maybe junk journaling, or maybe decorative stuff. I'm not quite sure. I don't think it's going to stay in its book form. But if I get to the point where I'm like, I actually don't think I'm ever going to get around to doing what I want to do with it, I will then donate it to the op shop. So it's going to go on the bookshelf here, along with those 2 golden books, and oh my goodness, it only just fits, but it fits perfectly. So that's off the desk now too. So now we have almost the entirety of the top of the desk that is clear. I'm just going to turn you guys around a little bit. So now I've seen the corner now, so now we can have a look at the rest of the desk. Okay, so amazingly there is a drawer here and it's empty. There's nothing in it. I don't know how that is or why that is, but it is. Okay, so down here we have a towel, puppy stuff. That's dog stuff. Okay. I'm not quite sure where to put it. And there's also some puppy training pads. Oh, then we've got some watercolor paper that I've cut into different sizes. I think when I've done some stuff with students in the past. Some different paintings, different swatches. That's one of my favourite parts of paintings. Some little watercolor paintings and things. So swatchy. I love, you know, trying out different paints in different ways, but just to see the colours of them. I think that was doing some Prima watercolor confections, maybe, those ones. And then having a go at some of these ones. This was based on an image from a tutorial by Sarah Cray from Let's Make Art. What's this one? Dragonfly. Brontosaurus. Didn't quite like how the Triceratops turned out. I don't think his beak, like his nose, he's a bit too disconnected, I think. Not sure about that one. Oh no, maybe that's the one I liked better. There are two. You'll have to decide which one you like better, the lighter one or the darker one. Feel free to put an answer in the comments and let me know what you think about those ones. Okay, I'm not quite sure which one I prefer. I think I prefer the lighter one, maybe. That one feels like maybe it's a bit too heavy-handed, but maybe it needs to be somewhere in between the two anyway. But yeah, so there you go. So there's some artwork there. Oh, and there's another project that I did based upon Sarah Cray's. There's some more watercolour stuff here too. So this is another project by Sarah Cray. I just looked at her image. I didn't actually follow the whole tutorial this time. But here's a lovely, really pastel coloured sloth. He's gorgeous, actually. I forgot about him. Some templates, some of the pictures that she gives out so that you can use to see her finished artworks. Oh, this was one of my first ones that I did. So the fox, do love him. He's beautiful and probably shouldn't just be in a pile of stuff. I think that was just to try out a sample of something. Galactic wolf, howling, again, probably needs to be in a frame somewhere. This is why going through the hoard is going to take me forever. So I'm trying to sort these now into inspiration pictures, etc. and actual artwork. Then I had a dragonfly. This was a different tutorial. This one was using Mikador watercolours and it was based on an artwork and a tutorial provided by Danny Till. I actually love that one. Quite do love that one. That's not really English. Oh, this was one of my first. They're all like some of my first ones that I tried. This was one of my COVID hobbies. Let's see the right way out those. That way. Beautiful blue whale. He was gorgeous. I did love him. Do love him. And then there was a cat. I think this was one of my first ones. I sort of went off piece a little bit, directionality of paintbrush strokes. That's when I was first learning about strokes and things like that. Used different colours, but I was really happy with the eye. And it really gives the vibe of the soul of my girls, particularly Trixie, my grey tabby. So that's pretty cool. And that's that. So I'm going to put all those inspiration pictures and things at the back. I'm going to put my artworks at the front, so that I'll be like, hey, you did these things are actually pretty cool. You should do something with them. Whether it's framing them, I don't know, selling them, I don't even know. But not just letting them sit in a corner somewhere. Yeah, okay, I've just realised that we are almost at half an hour of me and I haven't even covered the top of it, but that's okay. I can leave that there for now. and I'm going to finish it up here before it gets any bigger. Okay, so thank you very much if you stayed through to the end of watching me going through my hoard, rediscovering hobbies, artworks, things that I've achieved. Some of these things have been achieved long before I'd collected this many chronic illnesses, autoimmune diseases, pain conditions, whatevers. So in a way, some of it's really hard to look at because it's stuff that I did when I could do things. And now I just don't know if I'll be able to get back to that stage, but I really hope that by having a space that I can take things slowly and maybe get back to some of my painting. Maybe. But with the watercolour stuff can go that lovely colour mixing companion that I showed you in the part 1. So yeah, this is part 2. We'll stop here. But yeah, I'm Caroline, Red Dust Creations. Please like and subscribe, share if you have other people who are like, you know, dragon hobby hoarders, or I believe the new term is, you know, a hobby hoe. Yeah. Does all the things, loves all the things, tries all the things, and ends up with the hoard. But yeah, I'll say goodbye for now so I can get this video uploaded. The only editing that will be done is maybe a sound effect if I remember, or a thumbnail so that you know what you're looking at. Okay, which is all of this. All right, thanks. I'll see you next time. Bye.